Good morning. Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. If you can rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing hymn 109 in the gray hymnal as we come marching, marching, also known as Bread and Roses, so sing it loud. As we come marching, marching in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, a thousand workshops gray, are touched with all the radiance a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we go marching, marching, we battle to for men, for they are women's children. We mother once again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we come marching, marching, we batter women down, go crying through our singing their ancient song of bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but wait for roses too. As we come marching, marching, we bring the greater days, the rising of the women needs the rising of us all. No more the drudge and idler, the toiler one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses.
Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. I am Pip Paris, member of the Social Justice Ministries team, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. Today we are in person at the Admiral at the Lake, the 2U Sanctuary, and continuing to meet virtually via Zoom. We are glad you are here, whichever way you are joining us. If you are in the sanctuary and would benefit from hearing assistance, we have devices available, as well as noise-canceling headphones for both adults and children with noise sensitivity. Please see our tech team in the back. As we navigate varying needs for health and wellness, particularly related to COVID, we welcome you to wear a mask. We have masks available in the table as you enter the building. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we are excited to have you and we look forward to getting to know you. If you would like, there are blue mugs available during coffee hour you can use to signal to others that you would like them to come up and say hello. Not sure what to say? The Drum Allies group has come up with a question each week to help spark conversation. You can find the question posted on the coffee hour table. Additionally, we always need people in the kitchen after coffee hour, so that's a great place to meet old friends and make new ones while lending a helping hand. We want to remind everyone that the sound of children are welcome during our service. Our worship today is led by Karen Fort and Teresa Kennedy, along with Zella and Micah Lappinkar as worship associates. Music is provided by Jordan Christensen and Laura McKee. Our time together requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, the music, and the technical production. You can find many announcements about what is going on at church in your order of service. We encourage you to take it home with you when you exit the sanctuary. As we greet our neighbor, it is vital that we do with the utmost focus on consent and comfort. Whatever method of greeting you do, please ask the other person if they feel comfortable with that same level of contact. This is the time to take a moment and greet your neighbor. Nice to see you. Looking forward to the service.
Hello, Micah. Micah? Yeah. Oh, it's called Word. Oh, is it? It's a Spirit of Life.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah. It's time for. Oh, you may be seated. Oh, okay.
Please be seated. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation.
What? This church is a community.
Nope, she's right.
No, she's right.
Nobody believes me anymore.
Sorry.
This is what happened when Carl and Reverend Jason are both not here. We're rocking it.
Okay, let's go.
We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, where we keep love at the center. Whether you are joining us for the first time or for the 1,000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, when you feel ready, to take a breath in and out. And now rise in body or spirit and join Lara in singing our congregational hymn, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of
Please remain risen and join me in reciting our covenant. The words are on your screen. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest with our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living traditions, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion. You may be seated.
In just a moment, Lumi here in the sanctuary and Harris at the Admiral will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. We light our chalices this morning with these words by Audre Lorde. The oppression of women knows no ethnic nor racial boundaries. I began to ask each time, what's the worst that could happen to me if I tell the truth? And then our speaking out will permit other women to speak until laws are changed and lives are saved and the world is altered forever.
Teresa, we are going to sing. Here.
Okay, I'm going to say a couple of words first. In the 1950s, when we were kids, a lot of children, including me and Karen, watched the Mickey Mouse Club every day after school. Oh, okay, I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry.
It was a Disney production, which meant that it was wholesome. Reverend Jason made a face when we showed this to him. It has a message for girls and also for boys. Okay, so first, the song, please. Beauty is as beauty
does, that's what wise men say. So if you would be beautiful, do this every day. Stack up all those dishes and stir them in a wink. You never could be beautiful beside a dirty sink.
When it comes to learning, you'd better start at once. There's no use being beautiful if you're a little dunce.
Stack up all those dishes
And do them in a wink.
You never could be beautiful beside a dirty sink.
Okay. I told you made a face. Okay. So what is the message? The message for boys is, girls are pretty and stupid. The message for girls, for God's sake, get pretty. That's your aspiration, your hope, your key to the future. Also, you are responsible for the dishes, the home, all the domestic tasks. Do them, and you will get more beautiful, and you will get rewards. Education is secondary. Try to avoid looking stupid. That's a low bar. And it's now time for all ages. You want to do the invitation?
If the children would like to come up, the young and the young at heart, we have a story to read, and Zell is going to be our reader.
Hello, is this on? Okay. Drum Dream Girl. How one girl's courage changed music. On the island of music, in a city of drum beats, the Drum Dream Girl dreamed of pounding tall conga drums, tapping small bongo drums, and boom, boom, booming with loud, loud sticks on a big, round, silvery, moon-bright timbalas. But everyone on the island of music in the city of drum beats believed that only boys should play drums. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming quiet, secret drum beat dreams. At home, her fingertips rolled out their own dreamy rhythm on tables and chairs. And even though everyone kept reminding her that girls on the island of music had never played drums, the brave drum dream girl dared to play tall conga drums, small bongo drums, and big round silvery moon-bright timbalas. Her hands seemed to fly as they rippled, rapped, and pounded all the rhythms of her drum dreams. Her big sisters were so excited that they invited her to join their new all-girl dance band. But their father said only boys should play drums. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming and drumming alone. Until finally, her father offered to find a music teacher who could decide if her drums deserved to be heard. The drum dream girl's teacher was amazed. The girl knew so much, but he taught her more and more and more. And she practiced, and she practiced, and she practiced. Until the teacher agreed that she was ready to play her small bongo drums outdoors at a starlit cafe that looked like a garden. Where everyone who heard her dream bright music sang and danced and decided that girls should always be allowed to play drums, and both girls and boys should feel free to dream. The end.
Now let us sing the children to their classes. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Each year, we make a commitment, a pledge to support the ministry of our church. In addition to this contribution, each Sunday we take a collection so that we can share with those doing justice beyond our church community. While we are unable to come all together in person, you can still share your resources. To make your contribution, you can send a text to the number on the screen, which will be up when the music begins, or it can be found in your order of service. We will also pass the collection plate around the sanctuary. You are welcome to add your change, cash, or checks to the plates. For the month of May, we are sharing our plate with Pushing Envelopes, a collectively run volunteer organization that supports prison abolition for and by the LGBTQ+ community and those living with HIV+ in Illinois through pen pal relationships, legal aid, and reentry support. And this is the last Sunday of the month, so we will welcome Pip Paris to talk about the social justice ministry.
Good morning again. Social justice ministry at 2U connects members of the congregation with collective efforts to build a more fair and compassionate world. 2 Mondays a month, members of 2U join the Chicago Community Jail Support Mutual Aid Group to provide folks being released from jail and their families with free phone calls, snacks, water, warm clothes, and other forms of direct support. 2U members also help cook and serve a meal with a night ministry at the Crib, a shelter that houses LGBTQ+ youth every other month. And also under the social justice umbrella, the Migrant Assistance Team supports migrants in Chicago with resources, advocacy, and support, ultimately leading to 2U offering sanctuary within our building. We regularly partner with One Northside to make our neighborhoods and city more just, safe, and affordable. We do this by going to protests, taking part in legislative advocacy campaigns, phone banking, canvassing, and more. Recently, we organized a book group on boycott, divestment, sanctions, the global struggle for Palestinian rights by Omar Barghouti. Social Justice Ministries is also involved in the plate sharing program, in which the Sunday offering is split with organizations that are identified by members of 2U and that share the values of 2U. On the second Monday of each month, we gather in person for Social Justice Mondays, where we take part in activities such as making protest signs, writing cards to incarcerated UUs, or assembling care packages for people having abortions. We coordinate all these activities via a monthly Zoom activity. To find out more, you can reach out to sjm@secondunitarian.org. And also today we are having a social justice jubilee, and that will be at 12 in the sanctuary. This is an hour to honor and celebrate the work that we've done towards building a world of justice. And together we have put love in the center of our lives by working towards a world where everyone lives with dignity and respect. Everybody is welcome, and we will have coloring pages and supplies for kids or adults who want them. So thank you so much.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. The words are printed in your order of service and are on the screen. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
Would the representative from Pushing Envelopes please come up to speak? Come on. Our apologies. This is the representative from Pushing Envelopes.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning. My name is Io. I use she, her pronouns. I hope I didn't sneak into the program today. It was an oversight. All good. I can say a little something about Pushing Envelopes. I'm a member of Pushing Envelopes Chicago. You summarized us so beautifully before, but we are an all-volunteer-run group that works alongside and supports LGBTQ+ and HIV-positive incarcerated folks. We're an abolitionist group, which to me means that we think the sort of path to repair, to accountability, and to true justice comes through community, not from taking people out of community. And the way that we actualize that in our group is we run a pen pal program for folks who are incarcerated and folks on the outside, trying to build bridges and community across walls that are meant to separate us. We match folks with pen pals, but we also make sure that every single member inside gets a birthday card and holiday cards, and we also run a regular newsletter where we can share advice, shout-outs, words, not only from our outside member community, but also from inside members to one another to share like really important resources that prisons are not giving to people, like advice on how to do a legal name change or transitioning inside, or just words of uplift. In addition to the pen pal stuff, we also support inside members when they come home, to help them land on their feet, everything from welcoming folks, giving groceries, helping finding housing, venture cards. We try to be like really holistic in how we support folks. So we were so floored that we were chosen for your collection plate this month. We are truly like volunteer run, so every little bit of support that we get from our community helps us like literally buy another roll of stamps so that we can actually send the mail that we're writing to folks, or another ream of paper, or be able to print our Pride newsletter is coming up. We really want to print something in color, but little things like that, like we are a scrappy group, so every little bit really does help. And then, of course, financial support also helps for us to directly give to queer and HIV+ folks who are coming home so that they can land on their feet. So yeah, thank you so much again for choosing us this month and for giving. And if folks are interested in getting involved, you can email. I think our email is pushingenvelopechicago@gmail.com. But you can also come and join us every third Monday of the month. So the third Monday of every month, we meet downstairs and we have food, we have fellowship, and we respond to letters that we get from folks who are reaching out for community. So we would really love and welcome anyone who wants to join. So thank you so much again for having us, and yeah, thanks for the time.
I invite you now into the spirit of prayer and meditation. Let us start by breathing together. Take a breath in and out. We begin in thanks, thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of our earth, and the strength of this community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family in ill health, those who live with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen. We are with you. For parents and teachers and all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, we are with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, for immigrants and refugees who are fleeing and seeking, finding new homes in our city among many. We are with you. We pray for all those living in harm's way. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate change. We pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our world. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. Our lives are blessed by those who who are encountering the final stages of life. We offer prayers of comfort and care, knowing this journey is far from easy. Into this shared silence, I invite you now to speak the name of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of this community. Amanda. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen. Blessed be.
During our ritual of lighting candles for our joys and concerns, we want to continue to take care of one another. In the 2U sanctuary, you are invited to come forward and light one candle. As you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting, we invite you to use the hand sanitizer available. For those at the Admiral, I invite you to come forward and take a pebble from one bowl, hold it tightly, put your energy into the stone, and then, knowing your joys and sorrows to be shared by this community, to go lightly into the other bowl. For those of us on Zoom, join us by sharing your joys and concerns in our chat window.
You may now come forward. we hold all these joys, celebrations, sorrows, and struggles close to our hearts. Michael, will you present our reading?
Our reading this morning is The Right to Life by Marge Piercy. A woman is not a basket you place your buns in to keep them warm. Not a brood hen you can slip duck eggs under. Not the purse holding the coins of your descendants till you spend them in wars. Not a bank where your genes gather interest and interesting mutations in the tainted rain, any more than you are. You plant corn and you harvest it to eat or sell. You put the lamb in pasture to fatten and haul it in to butcher for chops. You slice the mountain in two for a road and gouge the high plains for coal, and the waters run muddy for miles and years. Fish die, but you do not call them yours unless you wished to eat them. Now you legislate mineral rights in a woman. You lay claim to her pastures for grazing, fields for growing babies like iceberg lettuce. You value children so dearly that none ever go hungry, none weep with no one to tend them, none lack fresh fruit, and your orphanages are empty. Every noon, the best restaurants serve poor children steaks. We are all born of woman. In the rows of the womb, we suckled our mother's blood, and every baby born has a right to love like a seedling to sun. Every baby born unloved, unwanted, is a bill that will come due in 20 years with interest, an anger that must find a target, a pain that will beget pain. A decade downstream, a child screams, a woman falls, a synagogue is torched, a firing squad is summoned, a button is pushed, and the world burns. I will choose what enters me, what becomes of my flesh. Without choice, no politics, no ethics lives. I am not your cornfield, not your uranium mine, not your calf for fattening, not your cow for milking. You may not use me as your factory. Priests and legislators do not hold shares in my womb or my mind. This is my body. If I give it to you, I want it back. My life is a non-negotiable demand. Let us hear our anthem.
So hello. I have to say a couple of words before this song, because my dad has shared with this congregation multiple times that it was a Mamas and Papas song that encouraged him to become a Unitarian Universalist. So I am here because of the Mamas and the Papas. And I also want to acknowledge, so this is actually a post-Mamas and Papas song. It is a Cass Elliot song, who was part of the Mamas and the Papas. And I had to do a little research. Cass Elliot died way too young. She was 32. And it was a reminder to me of how short life is. And I want to sing this as a tribute to our own Amanda Thomas, who also created her own music, but more importantly, made us better musicians and made us sing better. And we're all feeling her loss this week. But every time we sing, we honor her. Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell ya, 'cause it hangs them up to see someone like you. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song. music, even if nobody else sings along. You're gonna be nowhere, the loneliest kind of lonely. They may be rough going. Just to do your thing is the hardest thing to do. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. And if you cannot take my hand, and if you must be going, I will understand. You gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along.
I'm Karen Fort. My pronouns are she, her. I'm 72, born in 1952, and feminism saved the core of my life. Our Unitarian Universalist principles sync up with the feminist belief that women's rights are human rights. They uplift the same concepts as feminism: compassion, caregiving, equitable social justice, peaceful conflict resolution, and sustainable stewardship of diverse life on Earth. UU values center love, embraced with transformation, pluralism, generosity, equity, justice, and interdependence. My feminist thinking has evolved over time. The Unitarian Universalist community here has accepted me as I am, despite my flaws. I know I have more to learn, and that's a good thing. Asking my women friends about what experiences connected them to feminism, they often said, our mothers' lives of submission or acquiescence, divorced, single, poor women suffering dire hardship. The feminist revolution stalled when the Equal Rights Amendment failed. The nuclear family structure isolates motherhood into a solitary burden. The competitive economy divides women from forming coalitions as a village or a tribe. So then all women are more vulnerable to being pitted against one another over differences. The poet Muriel Rukeyser said, "What would happen if one woman told the truth about her life? The world would split open." I share my own feminist story in hopes that each of you will feel encouraged and empowered to further claim your own shared right of self-determination, whatever your life choices are. Particular moments in my life were key to my feminist liberation. In Portland, Oregon in 1968, during the hippies' peace and love era, I was a 16-year-old UU, falling head over heels in love with a 19-year-old boy. At a time when male chauvinists valued only the girls who were chaste, silent, and obedient, I had the support of the West Hills Unitarian Fellowship, of my parents, and feminism. All three valued and protected my health, my safety, and honored my feelings of love and my future. In telling this story openly, I hope to encourage each person to live your truth free and openly. Women are human, not incubators, not meant for forced birth. When I was 25, a month after a breakup, I found out that despite carefully using contraception, I was 6 weeks pregnant. I had just had a first date with Keith, my future husband, as it turned out. A dilemma. If I kept the ex-boyfriend's baby and dropped out of my career and went back to live with my mother, I might take out my resentment on my unwanted child, damaging both of our chances of happiness. Some with heroic mental courage do put their baby up for adoption, but I had to admit to myself that I might try to get that baby back later on, and that possibility wouldn't work for anybody. So at 6 weeks, before the zygote's first brainwave, I immediately got a legal abortion. And yes, it was very sad. I was very sad. But I never regretted it. About 1 in 4 US women will have one during her life. The dignity and health of motherhood must rest upon women's sacred right of self-determination. Now, it seems that women either really want to be a mother or really don't want to. There's no middle ground. Same with me. Bearing and nursing and raising children well is too important a task to try to force birth upon unwilling or unready mothers. A mother who is accidentally pregnant must ask herself long-term questions about the greater good, given the larger context. In the long run, it is more merciful to all to use contraception perfectly, including abortion as a backup, so that every child is wanted and welcome. In sharing what was private then, I now hope to encourage all to live truth in your choices. 5 years later, Keith and I got married and we planned for 2 kids in 2 years. But I got pregnant accidentally right away despite contraception. Still, this baby was so wanted. Well, we lived on $17,000 the first year, far from relatives who might help. And human tribes have always needed for their survival the trusted aunts, uncles, teachers, and godparents to foster the young, which we lacked. We lost, both of us, performing on stage, and that stung. But we weren't cold or hungry. Bearing and caring for 2 children included drudgery and cost so much. Heaven help parents who don't choose to do it. If you don't want to have a baby, you shouldn't ever have to have one. 7 years later, Keith wanted a 3rd child. I had been struggling to balance working for money outside the home with doing more than my share of the invisible, unpaid work within our home. Quarrels over chores used to cause my tears and rage. I remembered my exhaustion as the babies woke me at night and at the crack of dawn, and how seldom my husband had been willing or able to relieve me. I felt a calling to write, to direct plays, to teach, and to earn a living. If I changed my mind later, maybe we could adopt. So I told him no, and I had my tubes tied. Another right of self-determination. Being feminist does not mean hating men. It means caring about all people. Patriarchy is an it, not a him. Often egalitarian fathers long to spend more time with their kids, but US employers often demand overtime burnout hours. My husband earned more than I could in his high commitment career, which took him away 60 to 90 hours a week. His work travel meant that he couldn't do the floors and the laundry anymore. So eventually, I renegotiated the reciprocity of chores. I clean the house by myself. It's lonely. I acquiesced, but I resent it. He hired a well-paid housekeeper and helped more when he was home. Trust, ease, and contentment returned for us, even fun. And now that Keith is retired, he does the shopping and the cooking, and I the laundry and the beds and fixing broken things. I share these vulnerable struggles because for a feminist, the personal is political and spiritual. I hope to encourage all couples and families to negotiate fairness of labor and leisure in your own households. So feminism empowered me. I got to choose whether to have children, with whom, when, and how many children to bear. And now my life meets my essential rights and my spiritual needs. And I can strive to live up to our Unitarian Universalist principles and values, which is easier said than done. And as people tell their truth, the world is splitting open-hearted. Thank you.
My name is Teresa Kennedy. My pronouns are she, her. I am an educated white woman, and this is what I experienced in a movement that was largely started by educated white women. The feminism of the 1970s changed me, and it changed the country. It gave me more choices about lifestyle and access to jobs, and a rather harsh requirement for professional success. Feminism made anger acceptable. I no longer hear the horrible threat of my youth: nobody will marry you if you are not deferential, docile, ladylike, and absolutely untouched. I started out in a patriarchal society. I grew up in Jersey City in a Catholic family in a working-class neighborhood. It was not unusual for girls to get married at high school graduation. A good job, marriage, children, soon after 21 was the typical parent's dream. My high school friend and I agreed that neither of us were aware that we would have to earn a living. We were amazingly naive, and that was intentional in our upbringing. In those days, in that culture, being inarticulate, keeping silent, was the norm, especially for men. I never asked my father how he felt about being a patriarch. We never actually had a conversation. He worked 2 jobs from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for all of my childhood, and that was certainly one reason. In 1965, my family helped me to go away to college, and that changed my life. I am 6 years older than Karen, and I became an adult in the dark ages. Things changed a lot in that short span between 1965 and 1975. And this is true, Laura, you may not believe it. When I started college, a dean sometimes did bed checks at night. Girls had to be in their rooms by 11. A girl who was not in her room was subject to discipline and public shame. By the time I graduated, women were openly staying in men's dorms, and that's 4 years. The college and the medical community wanted to discourage premarital sex. These groups united in making contraceptive information hard to get. The pill had become available in the mid-1960s, but I knew women who had been thrown out of a doctor's office for asking for contraception as single women. Out of the 5 people I knew best in the early 1970s, 4 of them had illegal abortions, always terrifying. Abortion became legal in 1973. Older women often did not understand what the issue was. My mother looked at a picture of a feminist rally and said, "Those women do not look loved." She had 6 children. That was her proof that she was loved. I did not discuss that topic with her. We were just trying to find agency, to have agency in our own lives. In 1969, I graduated from college. The first time I experienced real feminist rage was when I started looking for a job. I was a liberal arts college graduate who couldn't type very well. I remember being at an interview at a recruiter, overhearing the man in the next cubicle, who was a history graduate student, being offered corporate opportunities while I was being offered a typing test. That was annoying. I had a fiancé who told me I couldn't work in an office because there were men there. It is scary to remember that I would have married him. Fortunately, I found out that his idea of marriage did not include monogamy, and that allowed me to escape, somewhat less naive. In the 1970s, I went to consciousness-raising groups and I read Ms. Magazine. The rhetoric was anti-male chauvinist, which some men took as anti-male. Don't sleep with the enemy. Climb that ladder. My favorite was, a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. The goal was a sisterhood of women who would help each other, raise children together, support each other at work. That was a goal that was kind of lost because people wanted to form nuclear families. If women changed, men changed also. Men also got sexual freedom. They were encouraged by Playboy magazine, which was most successful in the 60s and 70s. It encouraged men to enjoy life, which is depicted as without the burden of wives and families. With the coming of no-fault divorce, divorce rates doubled, leaving a lot of dependent wives and mothers in poverty. My sister, who is 4 years older than me, did all the right things. She married at 21, she had children, and then she got divorced. Her husband wanted to find himself. The world changed around her, not to her benefit. If my nieces and nephews are reluctant to marry and have children, it's partly because they have been at the kids' end of angry divorces and severely reduced income. Playboy did not even acknowledge there was a person behind those boobs. Early feminism did not give us a model for masculinity, how to be a man, how to be a father or an employer, and we are still working on that, and there is still some backlash. In 1975, I married a kind and funny and trustworthy man. I was 28, way past my sell-by date. He was 30, and his family had given up on him ever marrying. So old. We were together for 46 years until he passed away. I kept my name, which I now regret. When we had children or passport inspections, it was an inconvenience. We were, in fact, a social unit, and it is easier with one name to the social unit. For the first years of our marriage, I worked as an English teacher in Japan. I taught girls at a junior college. I was the prophet of feminism. You can have it all, I told them. I had no idea how hard it was having it all. When I was 35, I had twins. There's nothing compared to the intimacy of feeding, bathing, holding, talking to small children 24/7, and it is 24/7. It is exhausting and encompassing. We did not have a car. I occasionally wrote a rubber check for the doctor. I was able to stay home until my children were 6, always preparing for employment when they went to school. Professional employment had become a holy grail for me. And we needed the money to buy a house. I cheered myself up during my computer training by chanting mortgage, mortgage over my keyboard. When I was 40, I became a programmer and a systems analyst, thanks in part to Truman College. The day I was interviewed for the job I got, there were 2 candidates, me and a young black man. It was obvious that the company was trying to fill their diversity quotas. They would never have interviewed me if they had a choice. And it is absolutely sickening now to revert back to a situation where the only good candidate is a white male. I guess I have lived a feminist life. I had for 12 years a career. I had a trustworthy husband. I learned I should throw my own birthday party. Think of that as a metaphor. All right, so please rise in body or spirit to join us in singing our closing hymn, number 108, My Life Goes On in Endless Song.
My life goes on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn, that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ring. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. When though the darkness round me closed, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, but to the rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when when friends rejoice both far and near. How can I keep from singing to prison cell and dungeon den? Our thoughts to them are winging when friends by shame are undefiled. How can I keep from singing?
I invite you now to rest your hands upon your heart or clasp hands with those you are sharing your life with and hear these words from Virginia Woolf. There is no gate, no lock, no bolt that you can set upon the freedom of my mind. Go in peace.